Today is full body training day. We're going to hit the entire body as we're going through this workout here. The first one we're going to do is, now it's listed as a sled push on the workout. I don't have a sled here. So what I'm going to do is show you the alternate, right? If your gym doesn't have a sled, or if you're working out at home and don't have a sled, this is the alternate to a sled push, okay? It's going to be a step up with a negative step down. So this way you're working both the quads and the hamstrings with control, and I'll demonstrate that here in a second. Additionally, we're going to be going over some chest, back, shoulders. We're going to hit the full body for this particular workout, finishing up with a nice little circuit. So we're going to get started with that. We're going to start with the step up to a negative step down. You're going to get your bench. Standard bench, doesn't really matter. If you want to, you can go higher. But what I want you to remember here is it's not about how much weight you can lift on this one. This one's all about the control and can you do it with a good rhythm. This should almost get your heart rate up into like a cardio type of feeling. Not necessarily like full on like gasping for air, but you should be able to do it and feel as though you've put some effort into it. So you can do this with dumbbells if you want to add some weight. I'm doing this just body weight. We're going to do a step up with a negative step down. Okay, we're going to do our step up. We're stepping up and we're going to do a negative step down. Okay, so we step up and then slowly lower back down. Probably should use a more stable surface than I'm using right now. This bench got a pad on it. But as you're doing your step down, so you can step up and get comfortable here if you want to. Otherwise, you're going up and then slowly lowering yourself back down. Up. Slowly lowering yourself back down. Up. Slowly lowering back down. Same thing on the other side. Up and slowly lower back down. Try and hold it for 5 seconds or as long as you can. That wasn't a very good demonstration, but that's what you want to do. Stepping up, slow lower back down. I recommend doing one side at a time versus going alternate. Do 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Now, as you get more comfortable with it, you can start to do alternating and making it more challenging with different ways of doing it. But stepping up and a slow step down are going to be able to mimic what you would do with a sled push and a sled pull. All right, we're moving on to the next one. Okay, so now we're going to do the incline dumbbell fly. You're going to take your standard incline bench, set it to about 45-degree angle like you would do if you were doing an incline bench press or a dumbbell press. But here, we're just holding out and we're going out to the sides. Go to an area where you feel like you can control the weight. What I often see a lot of people doing with flies is they go way too far down. You don't need to go this far. I mean, I'm really extending my chest. I had to pull my hands in so I didn't hurt myself. A fly should include your shoulder blades. So as I'm coming down, I'm arcing my back as well. And I'm going to about a comfortable spot, right? Here, my arms are bent. It's not straight. I don't want to get too much bicep tendon in here. And I don't want to get a ton of shoulder in. I should be able to feel this in the upper chest. So a lot of back, bringing it together. So you want to think as you're pulling apart, you're going to a part where you feel as though your shoulder blades are engaged, not how far back you can move your arms. Okay, that's not the point of the exercise. It's entirely about controlling the upper body, right? Extend the chest, use the shoulder blades, and pull the weight together. The negative should be working on your shoulder blades. Obviously, there's going to be some stretching and tension here, and then the eccentric or the concentric is coming together. That's where you're going to feel it in the chest, and you should be feeling it right up along here. So arch back, use the back more when you're doing this exercise. All right, on to the next exercise. Okay, so now we're going to be doing a chin up. Now I'm using an assisted chin up machine here because it's easier to talk than it is to do chin ups at the same time. So I'm going to be using this here, okay? So the difference between a chin up and a pull up is the grip. Underhand grip for the chin up. As you do that, your arm naturally comes in more. So as I'm pulling, right, I'm getting a different angle of the lat. I'm getting that more straight back pull rather than that down angle. Kind of like when we were doing the single arm pull downs, right? You get that rotation in versus here you get the pull back. At the same time, I'm pulling my shoulder blades down and together, so I'm going to get a little bit more in the center part of my back. And as a bonus, I get a little bit more bicep work here in a chin up. So again, it's an underhand grip. And just because it's called a chin up doesn't mean you need to bring your chin above the bar. So we're down, get a full extension, and as you pulling up, pulling those shoulders down and back. All right, it should be a nice squeeze there. Extend. Now I'm not extending to the full extension. I want to maintain tension on the lats and on the biceps so that it doesn't make it as difficult to pull myself back up. Squeeze. Maintain that tension, right? We're not doing a full just drop down. This does count as a full extension. All right, again, I'm not all the way out. I'm keeping everything engaged. I can feel this right around the shoulder blades, the rhomboids, which are right underneath the scapula area. But it works the back a little bit more. It will give you that strong center of your back, right? You're going to get nice and wide with lat pull downs and pull ups. This is going to give you a nice thickness to your back, a nice shape, a nice posture from doing chin-ups. Plus, as a bonus, get those guns going. All right, we got a couple more exercises to go. Okay, now we're going to do the barbell upright row. I love this exercise. It hits the entire shoulder. The front, the side, and the rear delt. It gets the traps involved, and again, because we're trying to build stability, right, we're not hinging forward. It's not a pull, it's a row, right? That's the movement we want to make. As we're going through this, I'll demonstrate a little bit more, but what I like to hold it is about shoulder width apart, or I go in a little bit more narrow, right? That's really all we're going to be dependent on here. Now, if you start to feel this too much in the shoulder, back it off on the weight, and you can go out a little bit wider, so it takes a little bit more bicep out of it. But we want to make sure about shoulder width apart, okay, for the row. And as you're pulling up, the elbows are flaring out, and you're bringing the bar to right about the upper part of your chest. And notice how my hands are just hanging down here, right? I'm not up like this, I'm not shrugging, and I'm not rolling back. I'm pulling up. I'm letting my body do what it naturally wants to do, right? Pulling up. And then if I look at it from the back, right, not shrugging, I should be able to get to the top of this and move my head because I'm working a lot of the shoulder. It's a compound movement because I'm using the bicep and the elbow joint, but I'm also using the shoulder and I'm using my scapula area, right, to be able to control the weight. So as I take the barbell, okay, again, I like to set this up like I'm doing like a Romanian deadlift. All right, got my hands at my shoulder width apart, and then I'm just pulling this up, keeping it as close to my body as I can, because I don't want to swing it out. Again, that's going to add extra tension to the shoulder that I don't want to add, and I'm just pulling it up. You will primarily be feeling this in the shoulders, the deltoids, the side delts, but it's also working the forearms, the calves, the core, and your upper traps. It's a great exercise to build up that shoulder mobility. Now, if you have shoulder joint issues, all right, if this bothers the biceps at all, don't use a barbell, switch over to dumbbells, all right? I'm gonna grab some real quick and we'll go through that. The dumbbell obviously is going to allow you to have a little bit more freedom of movement, and it takes a lot of strain off of it. But you want to generally have the same principle. Hands to about the chest, a lot less weight, and you should be able to move the shoulder much more freely to find that area that doesn't hurt, but allows you to get that full range of motion. Again, this is a good exercise, but you have to play around with it to find an area that's comfortable. If at any point in time the barbell bothers you, switch to the dumbbells. And if that bothers you too, don't do the exercise. There are better ways, such as lateral weight raises and pull aparts, that we can always do to get the full range of the shoulders. But make sure that you're doing this at a weight that you can manage. All right, we're gonna do a little circuit for the arms and the abs to finish things up. Okay, the last 3 exercises that we're gonna be doing today are in a circuit. Okay, so you're gonna do each one back to back to back. You're gonna go 30 seconds of work, followed by 30 seconds of rest before you get onto the next set of exercises. All right, or before you're gonna cycle through 30 seconds on, 30 seconds rest, 3 times through. All right, so it's gonna get the heart rate up a little bit, get a little bit of a burn. The first exercise we're doing is a band curl. Take your loop band and step into it, and it's simple. Just do a regular curl. All right, nothing too crazy here, except for the crazy dog chewing on the band. 30 seconds, then we're gonna rest 30 seconds. Then you're gonna bring the band up overhead. All right, and we're gonna do an overhead extension. Elbows are flaring out to the side, pressing up high. 30 seconds there. You can switch bands if you want, but I highly recommend picking a band that you're going to be comfortably able to do both curls and extensions with no problem. And then finally, we're going to do exercise ball crunches. We're going to do them a little differently. You may see these called leverage crunches. So for these, you get into a position where your back is firmly on the ball. And you're going to raise your hands over your head. And as you crunch up, you're trying to keep your arms even with your head. So you're not using momentum, you're not pulling. It's going to get the abs much more involved. 30 seconds here, because I'm trying to maintain balance on the ball. I can't quite go as fast, but I can confirm that this gets really deep into the abs. It's a much, much more challenging way to go about doing crunches on the ball for 30 seconds. Again, if this bothers you for whatever reason, do regular floor crunches, regular crunches, but you want to make sure that you are doing an ab exercise to finish this. So that is our full body workout day. It's a great way to end the week. A lot of accessory exercises. There's not the big lifts that you have on your push, pull, and leg day, but it is a great way to get those extra exercises in that we're not doing on those bigger days. All right, that is it for now. Get after it.